welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that people have asked me all the time, which I have mixed feelings about when people ask me this question, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there because some people may be curious. This video may help some people, so we're just going to do something new today, and it has to do about parenting, I guess, so much. So people always ask me, even when I've had maybe 2 kids or 3 kids, more so when I just had the 3 older children, people used to ask me all the time, how do you do it? And I was very young. I had my oldest child at a very, very young age. I talk about that a lot. I'm not embarrassed, I'm not ashamed about it at all. I had a beautiful child out of it, but I was fairly young with my older 3 children. I think I was 21 or 20, something like that when I had Christopher. I was 16 when I had Keith. And when I had Justin, him and Chris are 1 year and 7 months apart. So I was fairly young working with 3 boys. Now, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who are new to this channel, I have a total of 7 children. 6 are boys, and my baby girl, Autumn, is 7. She's the only girl, by the way, and sorry for the smacking. But yeah, so she has 6 older brothers, and it's just her. Yes, they all have the same father before you start asking, except for my oldest child. And we'll talk about that at another time. That's not important. But he had my husband, who is a great father, by the way. So anyway, I want to just answer that question because I was asked that just recently, maybe a few days ago. How do you do it? Well, first off, they're not all cling to me. When I used to work at this one place, when I had the other 3 children, Justin was a baby when I worked at this particular place. I'm not gonna call it out, but they would say, how do you get your hair done? How do you look so nice when you come to work? And all this, it's like, they're not clinging to me 24 hours a day. Like, they do have a father who, takes over when I'm doing something. So that is one way I do it, because they have a dad. It's not just me. And I know, there are a lot of single parents out there that don't have time to do their hair. As you can see right now, this is my lazy day here. I am pre-conditioning my hair right now, so I have 2 braids in it. But for the most part, I don't really care. But anyway, it's for me to answer that question. I always laugh it off and say, I don't know, I'm crazy. But that's not it. The point is that I'm a mom. So when I wake up in the morning, it's not like, oh my God, I have to mom again. No, it is what I am. So for me to answer that question honestly, how do I do it? I do it because I'm a mom. So the number doesn't really matter to me. It's the fact that I have to wake up. I have to be a mom. I have to make sure they eat. I have to make sure they have clean clothes. They're getting to school. They need help with anything. That I'm there to support them as well as their father. Is it difficult having 7 children? Yes, it is very difficult. And even though I have 3 grown children, well, let's not say grown, I have 3 adult children, legal adult children, as long as you're still living at home and your parents are taking care of you, as far as we're concerned, you're still a kid. By the state of Michigan, you're considered an adult. But anyway, that's just a little joke. But yeah, I've always had children at different stages. And for me and my husband, we kind of group them. Like, we have 3 adult children right now. We have teenagers right now, and then we have Cam and Autumn. So there's always been a different range of children with us. So it was, am I going to say it was harder when they were younger? It did get difficult at times because there was always a time where there was someone in diapers and someone who was potty training, or someone in diapers when I had a newborn, or I was weaning one child off of the bottle and breastfeeding another. So I always kind of had that aspect going on. Was that difficult? It got difficult at times, just like it gets difficult at times now, but you learn to manage. You learn your children's behaviors even at a young age. Babies even have different personalities and different traits, and you take the time to learn that, and that makes it easier for you. When you just look at the number, you can get overwhelmed. People on the outside hearing 7 children, they're like, oh my gosh, I have one and I'm going crazy. You learn to adapt with the amount of children you have. And like I said, learning their personalities, learning their separate traits and needs makes it a lot easier. It's still very difficult. It is very difficult. It would probably be difficult for us if we only had 2 children or just the 3 children. It would still be difficult because there's something always going on in your child's life. So for us, or I'll speak for me, I'm not going to speak for my husband, I'll speak for myself. For me, the hardest thing that I find right now is that Autumn wants to do everything. Like, she's just this ball of joy and just so spunky, and she has so much life in her, and she just wants to do everything. Mommy, can we do this? Can we do that? And I'm kind of at the stage right now where I've done so much of that with the older children that it's hard for me to get excited about it. Like, I do it because it makes her happy. But for me, it's kind of like, oh my God, when am I going to be done doing this kind of thing? But, you know, I will do it for her because it's what she loves to do, and it's what she wants to do. So, yeah, you know, I have a lot of friends that are, you know, their first set of kids is just, you know, my daughter's age, like Kim and Autumn's age, and that's, you know, everything's new to them. And then they're like, oh, this and that, and it's like, you gotta understand, I've been a mom for 23 years. Like, none of this is new to me. I've done it all before. You know, I'm craft out, I'm volunteered out, like all this, but I still do it if they want me to do it. Right now, and what I found as the children grew up, to me the easiest stage in their life is from birth to 12. Let's just put it there. And I say that because when they become teenagers, it becomes difficult. It does become difficult because they get to a point and they get to a stage, and this is with boys because my daughter is very young, so I don't know how she's going to be as a teenager. So when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking off the fact that I have boys. I'm raising my boys first. She came along, she's only 7, she'll be 8 this year, so I only have 8 years experience raising a little girl. Now I have nieces, goddaughters, but I never had to raise them. I just, you know, spent time with them. You know, they've been over here, I've been over there to see them, but raising my own daughter is quite different than spending time with my nieces and my goddaughters. So teenage years are very challenging as a parent. It's just because they get to a stage where they think they know everything. You can't tell them anything. They want to fight you tooth and nail on everything. They want to ask, why can't I? Why can't I? Why can't I? And you can give them the world and they'll come back at you and want the universe. You know, it's just the way it is. And even though my kids are very appreciative, they're very humble, they don't expect a lot, but even still with that, what they feel they deserve is to be able to do what they want when they want. Scratch that, it's not happening. You know, it's just, well, why do I have to do this and that kid didn't have to do that? And that's the most difficult thing, is when you have so many children and you may have one child that's doing a little bit better with their academics or with their, you know, household chores, and one that's not. When you give this child more privileges, this child wants to know why they can't get those same privileges. And then you come to a crossroads where you have to explain to them, well, this child is, and let me just say what I was going to say, and then we'll kind of backtrack back to that, because it's a whole realm of things with that. When you go to that child and you say, well, so-and-so gets to do this because he did this. So-and-so gets to do this because I don't get any calls home from the school. Or, you know, it's just that matter of, yes, this child gets a little bit more freedom because this child is doing what they're supposed to do and not causing any problems in the household. And then this child feels like they should still be able to do what they want to do, even though they're not holding their end of the bargain. And for me, the biggest thing that I ask of my children is to do good in school. There is no leeway when it comes to education with me. You're gonna do good in school. You're gonna graduate from high school. If you don't want to go to college, I'm not gonna force you to go to college. But the one thing that you have to do when you're living in this house is graduate from high school. Those are my expectations. My other expectations: don't get in any trouble with the law. Can you manage not to get in any trouble with the law? And do your chores. Do what I ask you to do. Help out around the house. You eat all the food. The least you can do is pick up your trash, clean your dish, put it away. So backtracking, like I said I was going to do, it does become difficult when one child is able to do a lot more and then the other child isn't, because in the kid's eyes, you're favoring this child over me. Or, you think this kid is better than me because you're always letting him do whatever he wants to do. And that's not the case at all. But that does become a challenge. So how do you deal with that challenge? You just sit them down and you explain to them, if you are doing what you're supposed to do, if you do what I ask you without coming to me and giving me any problems, if I wasn't getting the calls home from school, if I wasn't having to deal with constantly telling you to turn in your work or clean up after yourself, then you would have the same privileges. It's very difficult to make the child understand that you're not favoring this child. This child is just doing what I asked them to do. So that's why they get more privileges. And it's a whole realm to giving children privileges as well. And we'll talk about that another time, because I've had so many difficult moments, my husband and I, when we give them too much. So that's a whole nother thing. But today I just want to answer, how do I do it? I'm a mom. That's just it. I mean, I can't answer that question other than saying I'm a mom. So the number doesn't matter to me. The amount of children doesn't matter to me. I get up every morning and I'm a mom. I haven't been Nika since before my oldest child was born. There is no individual me when I have children, when I have a husband. It's mom, wife, and I could be myself, and we'll get into that another time. We're not going to talk about that right now, but it's wonderful, and I am blessed with my 7 children. I did have 3 miscarriages along the way, so I have 3 rainbow babies. Actually, Christopher, Christian, and Cameron are rainbow babies. Just children that are born after miscarriage. So I'm blessed to have them, and that is also a difficult thing for me, because there are things that have happened to me in my life as a child growing up, things that happen within my household. So when it comes to me raising my own kids, I never want them to feel an ounce of pain. I never want them to hurt. I never want them to experience anything remotely horrible as I experienced growing up. So I tend to let them get away with a lot more than what they normally should get away with. And then, the greatest part to all of this is that I have my husband, and he is the backup when I'm giving them too much leeway. So that helps out, because I am the soft one. They know that. They know that I'm the soft one. They know how to manipulate me. They know how to get in my head. They know how to, just turn on the charm and go for mom. But, it's not like I give them so much freedom to where, they're just these horrible kids. If you met my children, they are good kids. They listen for the most part. But that's all kids, right? They are very respectful. They are very caring of each other and very caring of their friends and the people that they come in contact with. So they have great personalities, and I get inspired every day by my kids. They are just the most wonderful beings that could have ever been put into my life. So yeah, guys, is it hard? Do I just want to throw in the towel at times? Yes, I do, but that's all a part of being a parent. I think everybody, no matter how many children you have, you go through that. You go through those moments where you're like, what was I thinking? I can't do this. It's too difficult. You feel that way. And then when something serious happens, you go to feeling like, oh my goodness, it's my fault this happened. It's my fault that this child is this way. You know, you find yourself blaming yourself for every little thing that this child has done wrong. We'll talk about that at another time as well. I have so many things about parenting to talk about. Does life end when they become adults? No. So if you think when your child turns 18 and they graduate from college that they're not still going to need you, no, sadly mistaken. I have a son. He has 2 kids. You know, there are still things that he needs. I have a son that's in his 2nd year of college right now, and there are still things that he needs. You know, Justin just turned 18. Is he finished being here in this house? No, not at all. No. And then, you know, I have the other children who are still growing, and I still have to make sure. My biggest goal with my children is making sure that when they leave home that I've given them the tools that they need to survive on their own. So that's a challenge. That is a challenge, because you get afraid that you can't protect them when they leave home. I have that feeling now, even with my oldest son. You know, he's had things happen in his life, and it's just like, you know, if you were still living at home, maybe that wouldn't happen. But you know, you have to let them grow up. You have to let them leave the nest. You have to let them fall and pick themselves up, because it teaches them how to do things differently. It teaches them how to be a better person, and to deal with situations. So even though you want to be there to put a band-aid over everything that goes wrong in your child's life, you have to let them fall sometimes, but you're always there to pick them back up. So, you know, I have that open relationship. I have an open relationship with my kids, which means simply that we can talk about anything. You can come and talk about anything to me, but understand I'm still your mother, so I'm going to respond that way. So they know this about me. And you know, when it's that time and the boys have come and they talk about relations, if you know what I mean, they feel more comfortable coming to us, because we leave the window of communication open with our children. And that can be an uncomfortable thing for a lot of people, and they don't leave that door open for their kids to talk to them about that. I'm not stupid. You know, like I said, I had my son when I was my first son when I was 16. Whole different story, we'll get into that. But you know, I'm not going to blind myself to believe that my children are going to save themselves until marriage. Is that my hope? Is that my wish? Is that what I tell them? Yes, please keep it in your pants until you're married, you know. But that's not the case. We all know that. We see situations, we see teenage pregnancies and things like that. Will I know how to handle the situation if one of my sons came home and had a child? Well, I did. My oldest was still young when he had his son. So we dealt with it, and now he has 2 beautiful children, and he's doing everything he possibly can to take care of his kids. So, you know, it just, I think I'm rambling on because I'm trying to give you an answer and to give the people that have asked me that question an answer. But the simplest answer that I can give, like I said several times, is that I'm a mom. So when I wake up, I'm a mom. When I go to sleep, I'm a mom. When I'm dreaming, I'm a mom. You know, Autumn just woke up in the middle of the night. She was up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I kept trying to put her back to bed, and guess what? Mama didn't go to sleep. Mama was up from 2 o'clock until now that I'm doing this video. So actually, when you see this video, it'll be the next day, but just know on Tuesday that I was up from 2 o'clock until whenever I go to sleep. And Lord only knows when that may be. because you know they get home, they need help with their homework. You still got to make sure that everybody's in the house before you turn off the lights and set the alarm. You know, you got to make sure the dogs are being taken care of, they get the proper dinner, make sure everybody's eating and not, you know, just snacking on Girl Scout cookies because we got a ton of them in the house. You got to get the baths, you got to get the showers, you got to read the books or whatever it is that you do at the end of the night. So there's no telling when I'm gonna go. So just it, guys. That's it. I'm just a mom. Guys, I just do it. Like Nike said, just do it. That's what I do as a mom. I just wake up and I got 7 kids. 5. Is it 5? Well, it's 5 during the school year and then 6 when Christopher's home from school. So let's say 5.5 still at home. But yeah, it's getting easier as they get older, but it gets sadder as they get older too, because you know they're growing up and you know that eventually they will leave home. So that's a little bittersweet, but yeah, I just can't wait to see what adventures that I will find raising a daughter. I've come across some pretty wonderful, that's how I'll put it, and exciting and kind of oh yeah moments with my boys, so I can only imagine what it will be like raising a girl. But I'm raising her with a good foundation. She has a good foundation, and I'm an old school mom. You know, I grew up in a time where certain things just did not happen. You know, with her being the only girl, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna let her date without one of her brothers. It's just not gonna happen. Or you can he can come here, you guys can sit on the couch, me and dad or one of your older siblings will be sitting right on the couch with you. So yeah, that's how that's gonna go. So next time I do a parent talk or whatever you want to call this, I'm going to do, people think it's wrong of me to say there are things that my daughter will not be able to do that my boys are able to do. So I want to talk about that. I just want to talk about that. People think it's wrong, but for me, I just have to protect her in any way I can. And some of the things that my boys are able to do, I just can't see my daughter doing those things. Let's just put it like that. So we'll talk about that. I'm not saying that's going to be the next video that I do or that I post to my channel, but the next time we have a parent talk, I'm going to talk about that. So I have so many more things to talk about as a parent. So if there are things that you want to know, now mind you, I've only been a parent for 23 years. That is a long time in some people's eyes. In some people's eyes, that's not a long time. But kind of it is. He'll be 24 this year. So I've been a parent for quite a while, and I have a great experience raising boys, and I'm still learning raising my daughters. So if there's any parent questions that you would like to ask me, or you know, you want to throw some funny stories at me, some things that you've had to deal with as a parent, go ahead and leave that in the description. You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever is more comfortable for you. You can send me an email if you want to talk about something or ask a question. Yeah, so I hope you guys like this kind of video. I mean, I think it's kind of just my 3rd video sort of like this, talking about parenting and stuff like that. So yeah, if you like these kind of videos, let me know and we'll discuss more as a parent. And soon I will get into talking about things in relationships, because not only do people ask me about how I do it as a mom, they ask, how is your relationship so perfect? And that's just what people see on the outside. They never realize what goes on the inside. So I'll talk about that too coming up soon. So yeah, give this video a thumbs up, guys. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Share this video out if you want to. So the camera just decided to cut off on me when I wasn't done talking. I'm not sure where this actually ended, so I'm going to end it again. Guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe and see what more is to come, go ahead and subscribe. Share this video out if you think somebody would like to see this type of video. Go ahead and share it out. You can connect with me on social media. All of that is in the description. You can check out my Etsy shop. Right now it's kind of bare because I'm changing a lot of things, but you can check that out if you want to. That link is in the description, and I will see all of you next time. Bye. Oh, wait, don't forget to check out our movie review channel. We only have 4 videos on that channel right now, me and my husband, but go check it out. It's kind of funny.